systems go. Clear for liftoff.
I love the comment. I love it right off the bat because here at Chipper Nation, we have no lazy weeks. We're not taking off any time. If there's a stroke play tournament with individual golfers outside of maybe the Zurich, we are playing DFS. We are finding edges. We are using our models. We are building. We are doing all the content. You guys know the deal. Thank you for tuning in yet again. RBC Canadian Open. Is there going to be some overlays? Is there going to be some people not playing this week because they're looking ahead to the U.S. Open? Maybe, but I mean, it's a national open, guys. Like it's a big week in terms of the golfing world. Like the stars come out. Bob MacIntyre comes to the top because he knows it's a national open week. Nonetheless, I think the Canadian Open's fun. Like we've seen the Nick Taylor moment. We've seen Bob Mack recently. We've seen the Sam Burns, Ryan Fox duel. There's been great finishes at this event over the last few years. We've seen Rory dominate. Like I have a lot of fun no matter what golf course we see around Canada. But we are back at TPC Toronto, a golf course that we only have 1 year of data from. So not going to be any course thread, but I do want to touch on last year's leaderboard and look at what got to the top, what worked, what didn't work. So here's the leaderboard from last year. And as you can see right off of the bat, Ryan Fox, Sam Burns, Kevin Yu, Cameron Young, then Matt McCarty. So 4 of these top 5 golfers, you could say, all generally plus distance guys. Taking a look at Ryan Fox's stat line from last year, he was 21st in distance. Sam Burns, let's look at Sam Burns. Sam Burns was 13th in distance. Kevin Yu next. Kevin Yu, see what he did with the driver. 10th in distance. Cameron Young, 8th in distance. And then Matt McCarty was an outlier there. Then we get to Ben on. But you could see a ton of distance working for the top of the leaderboard. And I think that is going to be the case yet again. I think we're going to see a ton of the driving corridors, everything is benign. It's not like super narrow. It's no Sahali, I can promise you that. You can nuke it out there, and I really do think the guys who have the best driving distance are going to have a lot less club, a lot more opportunity to go make those birdies. It's not quite a mega birdie fest, but you're going to have to make 20-plus birdies this week if you want to win. I would call that a birdie fest nonetheless. So I'm looking for driving distance. I'm keeping it simple, and let's go from there. Let's find some golfers. The next thing I want to touch on is the weather for the week here in Canada. So I'm excited to hear some of Tambo's takes on this golf course, on the weather, because as you guys know, I believe he's a Canadian. I could be wrong, but I believe he's a Canadian up there, as well as some other Ship It Nation people in the scene. But we're looking like we're having some weather. So Monday is dry. Tuesday, it looks like it's T-storms and rain from 2 p.m. to 11 a.m. the next day. So that should really soften up this golf course. A golf course that's already by no means firm and fast, plus this rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, plus rain Thursday, plus rain Friday, plus rain Saturday night, Sunday morning. People are asking, will we even have this golf room? I feel like this is like the third straight week we're going to have some sort of delay. So tune in for that for sure, because it's looking like we're going to have some weather, guys. And it's looking like we're going to have some windy conditions, some soft conditions. Thursday, gusts from steady wind from 11 to 9, gusts over 30 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour midday. Friday, a little calmer, but still gusts over 20 miles an hour. Saturday, gusts over, we're going to have some tough conditions. And you might be thinking, all right, then why not hit fairways? Why not dial in if we're going to have some difficult conditions? I don't think that this golf course is narrow enough, wide enough, and has enough hazards to really negate it no matter the conditions. So I think the wind is just going to make distance even more important. The into the wind holes, nuke it out there and have a mid iron in versus a long iron. And the downwind holes, take advantage, drive some greens, get really close, have 60-yard pitches into greens. I think distance is going to play very prevalent. And even looking at the weather, I'm going to dig deeper into that sentiment. So looking at some of the winning scores, the winners of the last few events, we've seen similar numbers of scores. Like no matter where we go in Canada, it's around this range outside of like Johnny Vegas back at Glen Abbey, but still Glen Abbey got word back to back winning at 12 and 21. Like shout out Johnny Vegas. It's a lot of 15 to 20 in that range. And I think it's going to be 17, I'll go with, even with the weather, even with the wind. I'll go 16 or 17 winning score, TPC Toronto. Looking at contest selection for this week, I'm loving this $200 single entry. We don't have the best contest this week because it is pre-US Open. We'll get some better love next week, but we have 10K up top. You only have to beat 276 other people. I think you can beat 276 people. And say you beat 267 people, you're still walking away with $1,000, turning that $200 into $1,000. Pays out 58 entries. 58 divided by 277 equals 0.21. Only pays out the top 21% of the field. Not the greatest contest in the world. I'm looking for like 23 to 26% payout structure, but I like what we're looking at from 1st to 10th, 1st to 9th. I think you could turn 200 into 10K. You only have to beat 277 other people is what I'm getting at. And as we look at this DFS board, make sure we're good. DFS board, Fitzy, Fleetwood, Burns lead the way in the 10K range. I want to touch on Sam Burns at $10,100, coming off of that T4 finish, coming off of that runner-up finish last year, T10 at Hamilton 2 years back. It's quite clear that Sammy Burns is going to garner a ton of love this week. And let's also talk about my Sam Burns recap from last week. I did not think I gave Sam Burns I didn't give him a bad report when I was out at Memorial. I just said, I don't think he can hit enough fairways to really prosper. And although he didn't win, he played well. But it was those fairways that kind of boned him in the end. Did he drive it better than I thought he was going to drive it? Yeah, like 100%. He drove it better than probably he was going to drive it. But on a golf course like that, I just don't think Sam Burns was really the right choice for an outright selection. I just don't think he could have hit enough drive fairways under the pressure, and it turned out to be the case. Yeah, still can't believe Sam Burns missed that putt last year. It was quite, and I remember they were saying like Sam Burns, one of the best putters on tour, like, and he was like I think the best putter on tour statistically last year, and he missed it. So, but Sam Burns, like looking at that stat line that I'll bring it back up again. Looking at that stat line, pair it with the recent form, pair it with the course history from last year, it's no surprise that Sam Burns is going to garner a ton of love. And I don't think the love is a bad thing. I think Sam Burns could be in for a nice week because the driving corridors are easier than they were at Memorial by far. And when Sam Burns kind of goes, he goes. Like when he gets that trend and form going, he shows it for a few weeks. So I like Sam Burns over the next few weeks, definitely next week as well. Next golfer I want to look at is $8,200, I believe. He is 82. That is Keith Mitchell. Keith Mitchell, this is just a golf course where the driver, I think, is paramount, like I'm saying. And Keith Mitchell is one of those guys you wake up on Thursday morning, maybe you wake up at 7 o'clock for work, and then you don't check the PGA Tour app till 10:30 a.m. And Keith Mitchell's 6 under through 7. And then he finishes T12. He has no chance to win, but Keith Mitchell's 6 under through 7. Coming off of 2 straight weeks, all green in the ball striking, even though it was a miscut at Colonial. I love this golf course much better than it was at Colonial. Looking at his history in Canada, he's got decent history. He's always really hit it well when he goes north of the border. Striped it here last year, gained over almost 5 strokes ball striking, just putt poorly. I'm not too worried about the putter. He lost 2.5 at Colonial, but those greens are a lot more difficult than we have this week. I love the ball striking. I love the driver that Keith Mitchell brings to the table. And at $8,200, I really love the ceiling that he brings. I just think it's a perfect price for what you're getting for Keith Mitchell. So I love him at $8,200. Taking a look at the betting board, we're seeing a ton of movement so far. Tommy leads the way around 11-1. Fitz is also 11-1. Sam, this is just an absurd board, I think, in my opinion. 3 guys sub 13-1. That's why outright betting is just so tough nowadays. Remember the days when this board would have been like 10, 16, 20. And now we get 12 to, we have like, this many guys under 30-1. It's tough. It really is tough. Unless Viktor Hovland, look where he's sitting at this board. 30-1 behind golfers like Brooks Koepka, Christopher Wrighton. Like, if you're telling me Christopher Wrighton's favored in the low Viking market, the low Norwegian market, I'm going to take Viktor Hovland. I know he's taking some time off, but we've seen Viktor Hovland play some poor golf and then win. Take some time off and come back as strong. His last 2 outings, a T31 and a miscut at Aronimink, he did not hit the ball bad. He gained strokes ball striking at Aronimink. He almost 2 strokes. It wasn't the best Viktor Hovland ball striking in the world, but he's not far off from gaining 5.5 strokes at Augusta. He's had a bad putting week at Aronimink. I'm not worried at all. Viktor Hovland has never been to Canada, but I think these are the conditions. Like, he's played really well in the Northeast in his career, and I think that's what we're going to get. Just make some putts on the bent grass. Viktor Hovland has done that before in his career, so I'm loving him at that 30-1 number. Down the board a little bit, I want to touch on one Canadian. That's 55-1, Taylor Pendrith. Taylor Pendrith, he's coming off of a bunch of made cuts in a row, did not hit the ball well at the Memorial, but he's coming off a Aronimink where he played really well off the tee. He striped it off the tee, and he's just so streaky with this ball striking. Like, he can come in losing strokes, bang, gain 6.5 on approach at Bay Hill. They don't just hand those out. So I think the volatility, and someone commented this right here. Let's bring this up. TPC Craig Ranch North. I think Taylor Pendrith played well at TPC Craig Ranch. Let's confirm that for a second. But I think Taylor Pendrith has had some nice course history around that golf course. Oh, look, TPC Craig Ranch, a win for Taylor Pendrith. I'm not saying that's the best comp in the world, but I just wanted to highlight that comment. And I just think it makes sense for Taylor Pendrith. I think it makes sense to talk about one Canadian on this show because we are talking about the Canadian Open, and this is Shipping Nation has some Canadian roots. So I'm definitely down for Taylor Pendrith around 55-1. Next thing I want to touch on is some site stuff because I'll tell you right now, we have boots on the ground next week for the U.S. Open, and I don't want to announce anything yet, but we may have a very, 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 very special guest. So go to the bio, use code BOOTS, and then you get access to all of this for free. You get the projections, the showdowns content, which will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the Stone 2.0, slate plan, value report, course fit rankings, some other notes, Boots Bullets next week, because if you have it, have a free week. Code BOOTS gets you a free week. So you're going to join the nation. Click that right here. If you just want the golf stuff, please just select single sport. If you want just the content, just click PGA on this left-hand side. If you want all of the tools, the optimizer, SaberSim. SaberSim is an unbelievable tool right here. Code BOOTS, get your 10% off plus a free week. And then you're going to want to go over here and fly that flag to really join it. I think we had a 10K winner yesterday. If you win anything, if you win $1 million, we've had $1 million winner before, you have free Shipping Nation for life. You win a whole bunch of tokens and tools and free stuff if you do happen to win by simply flying this logo. Fly that logo on your DraftKings FanDuel avatar and cash with us. So code BOOTS, we have boots on the ground next week at the U.S. Open. Who knows? Maybe Tambo will drive over to the golf course. I don't think it's anywhere near where he lives, but who knows? Maybe he'll drive over and give you some boots on the ground information this week. Next things I want to touch on are a potential chalky golfer, a potential pivot, and then one golfer that I'm on, as well as my model. So let's get right to it. Potential chalky golfer this week goes by the name, I think you guys know where I'm going with, goes by the name of Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark finally is trending in the really right direction, like very, very, very much right direction. Coming off of a win, this is not correct. Coming off of a win and a solo third, he absolutely minted his irons. It was his second career best iron week last week. And when we know Wyndham Clark, remember a few years ago when he was winning things, when he was at the top of leaderboards, when he gets going, he keeps it going. Like, remember when it was him and Scotty. I'm all the way down for Wyndham Clark when he shows some really nice signs. And with that being said, he's going to be chalky. So do I think he's bad chalk? Not necessarily, but I think Wyndham Clark is going to be a very, very, very chalky golfer this week. Next thing I want to touch on is a potential pivot. Now, I will cover my bases again. I do not think that he is a pivot off of Wyndham Clark. I think he's a pivot in his range. This is a $7,700 golfer. I'll bring the screen up and I'll let you try to guess it for a second. 7,700. I hope there's other golfers at 7,700. 7,700. There is a bunch. So which one of these golfers in this 7K range, 7,700, do you think is going to be the pivot? I think it's going to be Davis Thompson. Pivot off of winner Ryan Fox, Canadian Corey Connors, Canadian Taylor Pendrith, always trendy Johnny Kiefer, Canadian Sudarshan Maraju, who people love to play, trending Steven Yeager, who just showed some nice things. I think people are just going to forget about this Davis Thompson guy. And Davis Thompson, although his form is not great, he is a plus distance golfer. He is a easy conditions golfer. You want him when you have to make birdies. That is where I like Davis Thompson. And word on the street is he played nice in his qualifier today. So Davis Thompson, I think, is a nice pivot in the 7K range. Now let's look at the model. The model did let us down last week, but hopefully it can bounce back for us this week. I made 4 models, times that by 3, made 12 models, aggregated it to this. I used wedges plus long irons. I used driver putter, which I think driver putter is a great recipe for success. Think Ryan Fox driver putter, Sam Burns driver putter. Distance approach, and distance plus total driving plus irons. We got Nikolai Horgard number 1, Johnny Kiefer number 2, Corey Connors, Sudarshan Maraju, and Michael Brennan tied for 3rd. Only spit out 5 names. Hopefully one of these names could be our winner. But the moment you've all been waiting for, the one golfer that we are on. He goes by the name of Robert MacIntyre. They don't call it National Open season for nothing. Now, Robert MacIntyre is coming off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight weeks of poor iron play. I think it's a great buy low spot. I said it was a great buy low spot for Tommy Fleetwood last week, and he came out and played tremendously. Robert MacIntyre lives for the National Open. Lives for them. Looking at some of his history as a golfer. Canadian Open champion. Canadian Open champion. Scottish Open champion. Valero Texas Open runner-up. Hey, some people will call Texas its own country. U.S. Open runner-up. Scottish Open runner-up. British Masters runner-up. Czech Masters T4. Danish Golf Champion T4. Italian Open 4th place. I feel like he won the Italian Open too. Did he not? Yeah, he won the Italian Open. We got Qatar Masters T6. Irish Open T5. Korea Champion T7. Kenya Open T7. Turkish Open 7. French Open T8. British Masters T8. Guys, like, you think I'm joking. You guys think I'm joking. It's National Open season, and this is where Bob Mack thrives, and this is where Bob Mack lives. They don't call him that for nothing, so Bob Mack is the one golfer I am on, no matter the form, no matter the time of year. It is a National Open week, and that is what he lives for. As always, song of the day. We're going to go with High Horse by Wage War. Please go check it out. Go check out the playlist because it is booming, and I know you guys are liking it. That wraps it up. I will catch you guys Thursday, Friday, Saturday with the showdown content. Any questions, you know where to find me. And as always, let's ship it. Peace out.